Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutation to the elect of Israel. To you, I say Shalom. Lord willing, this blessing is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. And through the Spirit, last lesson I did was about the judgment of Esau, Edom, right? And so this lesson is going to be about who exactly Esau, Edom is, man. All right, spoiler alert: Esau, Edom, or Esau, Edomites, are the so-called white man today. All right, but this is a passage from the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, and I'm gonna read this highlighted part in the bottom. This is under the section Edom. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34 and 5, 6, Isaiah 63 and 1. All right. And I didn't bring out those precepts in my last lesson, but there's a lot of precepts about Esau judgment I didn't bring out, man, because there's so many of them. This is why it's important to know who they are today, man. All right. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. All right. Esau's only judgment, Esau's only guarantee was that he was going to perish forever, man. All right. Now, before I get into the precepts, just explaining who Esau Edom is today, or I should say proving who Esau Edom is today, and that he is the so-called white man. All right, I'm gonna bring out a couple of precepts that that'll Lord willing, help understand it a little better. This is Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. All right, so your pedigree determines your nationality, your ethnicity. All right, and your pedigree goes by the house of your father. It goes by through the lineage of the man. All right, your mother has nothing to do with what nationality you are, man. All right, that's modern day Babylonian folly, man. Talking about mixed races and so on and so forth. No, the Lord only goes by the seed according to the Lord, man, and according to basic biology, man. Right? If you plant an apple tree or apple seed in another country, it might look different because it's pollinated different, but the fruit will still be an apple. Right? It's the same way with the seed of men. All right. Let me jump over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 28. Because in order to break this down, I'm going to have to jump around the scriptures. All right, Isaiah 28, starting at verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. All right. Even though understanding that Esau Edom is a so-called white man is milk, all right, but not some people choke on milk. All right. Verse 10, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. All right, so this is really how you understand the mystery of the scriptures, because the Bible is written as a puzzle, right? In order to decode the puzzle, you got to take a little from here, a little from there, all right? And it all lines up. Now, if you notice something that doesn't line up, you gotta pray for understanding, right? You're understanding something wrong. That's why people in the world say that the Bible contradicts itself, when that's false. There are no contradictions in the Bible whatsoever, man, from Old and New Testament, man. Absolutely none. Right? If you think the Bible contradicts itself, it's because you're not weaned from milk yet, man. All right. And let me get one more. I'm going to jump to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4. And I'm bringing this out through the Spirit because a lot of people will say that Esau Edom is done away with. They perished. Or they'll say Esau Edom is the so-called Arabs. They'll say all a bunch of things, man. But this scripture proves that Esau Edom is not done away with. Ecclesiastes 4 and 16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. The point being that there is no end of all the people. All right, the nations that the Lord created are still here. Now there may be segments of nations that are gone, but the nation as a whole is still here, man. All right, so there is no end of all the people. All right, so now let's go and get into this topic of who is Esau, Edom, man. First, let me jump over to the book of Genesis, chapter 25. Genesis 25 and 23. You know what? Yeah, I'll go straight to the point. Genesis 25 and 23. The Lord Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two men are. You know what? Let me jump up. Genesis 25 and 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. All right. So the twins that were inside Rebekah's stomach, they were fighting against each other in the womb. All right. And she was asking the Lord, if this is meant to be, why are they fighting, man? So verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb. Two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Two nations meaning two different people, two nationalities, right? Two nations are in thy womb. And two manner of people, manner being basically type. Let me go into that word manner. Manner goes into basically personality type. Okay, a people or nation, or two manners meaning two different people, man. All right, used from an unused root word meaning together, a community, a nation, a people. All right, so two people are in thy womb. Two different types of people are in thy womb, man. All right, Genesis 25:23. The Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right, this is going into future prophecy. All right, and back in the world, I knew a girl who had a premature child, and inside of the hospital, I believe it's called the NICU. Now, something like neonatal ICU, something like that. But one of the nurses told the girl that I knew, basically saying, really not to worry, because even though it's a stressful sight seeing your baby, your child, hooked up to machines inside incubators and whatnot, not to worry, because so-called black children are stronger than white babies, so they tend to survive more in situations like that, man, if they receive the proper care. All right. So it's already known that so-called so-called black, Hispanic, Native Americans are born stronger than so-called white people, man. That's why you see a lot of Jake children at young ages with six packs. And you don't see that on Edomites, right? So it's one people shall be stronger than the other people. All right, this is why Jake's so great at. This is why Jake are the greatest athletes, man. You don't see Edomites competing with Jake on the fields or courts, man. It's because we're naturally stronger, all right? And it's been like this ever since Genesis, man. We're reading it. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So that whoever was born first will end up eventually serving the younger brother. All right, verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Genesis 25 and 25, Salakia. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Esau meaning red, man. All right. And after that, Salakia, verse 25, it describes how he looked, man. He came out red, man. All right. What's another name for country white people, man? They call them rednecks, man. All right. These people are actually red. There's no such thing as white people, man. They're actually red if you pay attention, man. That white is really them trying to hide their identity, man. All right, because they believe if they can hide their identity, they could escape judgment. This is why they take on the identity of every other nation, including Jake. They try to call themselves the Jewish people, man, because they believe that they can escape judgment, man. But you can't escape prophecy, man. Verse 26. And after that, his brother came out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 old when she bare them. All right, so just like in verse 23, it says the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 25, the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So Esau was born first. So according to prophecy, Esau, Edom, will eventually serve his younger brother Jacob, man. All right. And we jump over to Genesis chapter 36. Now back in Numbers 1, we brought out that your lineage goes through the seed of your father, man. All right. This is Genesis 36 and 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. So Esau, Edom, Idumea, all these terms coincide with the same person, man. All right. Jump down to verse 8. Thus Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. All right. So these Edomites are Esau is an Edomite, basically, you know. All right, but let me jump down to the point. Genesis 36 and 9. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. All right. Now, again, back in Numbers 1, it tells you that the lineage goes to the father. So this is going to explain the sons of Esau and his lineage, man. All right, but I really want to point out one on this list. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau; and the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. All right, and we brought out, you know, in that last lesson that, you know, Teman is the so-called Germans, man. All right, and Tema was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek, and these were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. So Amalek is an Edomite, man. Amalek or Amalekites are your modern day small hats, man. Your so-called Jewish people, man. All right. So now that we know that Amalek is an Edomite, let's jump over to the book of First Samuel 15. I believe it's verse 8. I'll start at verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. All right. Saul was commanded to kill every Amalekite, right, and not spare anyone. But he did the opposite. Verse 8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. All right. So he went against the commandment. But this is not the point. The point is that it shows that Agag was king of the Amalekites. Now, again, remember, Numbers 1, it goes by the lineage of your father. So this is the Edomite. Agag is an Edomite. All right, because he's an Amalekite. And Amalekite are descendants of Esau, and it goes by your lineage. All right, so let's jump over to the book of Esther, chapter 3. This is Esther, chapter 3, and verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. All right. So remember, King Agag for First Samuel was an Amalekite. All right. So Haman was the son of Hammedatha, Hammedatha, the Agagite. So again, you know, this is an Amalekite. This is an Edomite. All right. So now that we understand that, whatever your dad is, you are, right? So again, this is another Edomite. So now let's jump to the Apocrypha. Well, Apocrypha just means hidden. So, it's still part of the scriptures, right? This is, in the original, the first translation of the scriptures from Hebrew, Latin, and Greek, right, to English, and included the Apocrypha, right? But they took it out because, there's too many cuts in here. Oh, Slock. Whoa. So Additions to Esther is really a continuation of the book of Esther. All right, so Additions to Esther chapter 16, or really Esther chapter 16, verse 10. For Aman, a Macedonian, Aman really is the same person as Haman. It's just spelled differently in the Apocrypha. All right, the son of Hamathadah, again, it's the same person. Hamadatha, Hamadatha. Salaki, I'm butchering that. All right, for Aman, a Macedonian, the son of Hamathadah, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, saying that he was definitely a stranger of the blood, meaning he wasn't the same people as the Persians, and far distant from our goodness, because Esau Edom is the wicked, right? So he is the wicked, all right? So far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us, all right? So Aman, or Haman, again, is a Macedonian, all right? A Macedonian being an Edomite, all right? Now, there were Jake Macedonians as well, just like there were Jake Greece, or Grecians. There were Jake Romans, right? Because Jake was scattered, and Jake was in captivity all over the earth, man. So of course there's gonna be some Jake of these other nations, but the mass majority of them, those Jake are Greek only by citizenship, not by bloodline. Macedonians are Edomites, man. All right. For Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Hamathadah, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us. All right. So now that we see that Macedonians are Edomites, I'm gonna stay in the Apocrypha. I'm gonna jump over to First Maccabees chapter 1. First Maccabees chapter 1 and 1. And it happened that after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chetam, had smitten Darius, the king of Persians and Medes, that had reigned in his stead, the first over the first over Greece. All right, this is talking about Alexander the Great, or Alexander the Greek. All right, so Alexander was son of Philip the Macedonian. If you go into the history of Alexander the Greece, or Alexander the Greek, you see that even Esau will tell you that he's an Edomite, man. You can see his images and on Google and whatnot, man. Actually, let's Google Alexander the Great, and then we'll close out on that, man. Really proving this. The whole point of this lesson was proving that the so-called white men are the Edomites of the Bible, man. All right. So the last lesson was really showing that Esau Edom is guaranteed judgment of the Lord. And this lesson is really proving who Esau Edom really is, man. All right. He's not done away with. He's still on the earth. He's still ruling today, right? And he's not the so-called Arab. He's not, he's not anybody else but the so-called white man, all right? But not every single white person is an Edomite, all right? Again, it goes by the bloodline of your father, right? So you're gonna have Jake mingled in. Or I should say, you're gonna have Jake that look like Edomites, man. You're gonna have Jake that look like everybody because we were scattered through the four corners of the earth. But the majority of the so-called white people are Edomites, man. But I'm gonna close out with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say Shalom and Abad Babal.